Hello friends. Welcome to a new video. Today I wanted to talk about creating a story Bible, which is basically a spot that you can kind of keep notes about everything that's going on in your story so that your notes aren't like scattered all over the place. They're kind of all in the same spot, but a little more organized. I have found this to be useful for me. And of course, you're welcome to take this and alter it however you need to use it for your own benefit. So first off, let's just talk about this artwork, okay? Like totally off topic, but isn't this piece of art amazing? I don't know about you guys, but when I was in like middle school, there was a really popular artist named Jennifer. She did a bunch of like drawing books and stuff, and I still to this day love using her art as my background. So this is her work. Love you, Neon Dragon art. Okay, so going to come down here. Come on. Okay. I like to say a lot, you guys. I'm sorry. Hopefully you can deal with it. Okay, so this is our Barking Up the Story Bible. Now, I typically separate it into kind of three different sections. I separate it into plotting, characters, and world building. I think those are the only three sections. So I'm going to go over each section with you guys, and I will actually be filling out the plotting section through the video. So, let's talk about it. So my first section is plotting. I put the plotting section first because again, it's what I struggle with. So I tend to have the most questions or concerns about it. So I put it first so that I think about it first, kind of a thing. And as you can see, I have several questions for the big picture. So this first question, where does the change start? So for us, our change starts when Mr. Shakespeare, a werewolf, offers an internship to our poor college vamp Blair. And yes, I have named the head of the household Mr. Shakespeare. I don't know if that will actually stay or not, but that is his name for now. Okay, so what are my protagonist goals? So Blair is our main protagonist and is kind of the only goal I'm going to be focusing on. And Blair is trying to survive her internship. As a fish out of water. Or in her case, a vamp out of her coffin. Yes, that was a horrible, horrible joke, but do what we're going with it. And what is my antagonist's goal? So our antagonist's goal is Rel. Name is Rel. And ironically enough, he doesn't have anything actually against Blair, which kind of becomes his downfall. But you know, oh well. But Raul wants to set up Gawain, the beta of his pack, up for failure, so he can claim his spot back. Now, why should the reader invest in this story? So this is interesting because this is a question I've always kind of struggled with, but I think it's good to think about, and I hope that the more I think about it, the more I can kind of understand it and incorporate it. Um, so I think about when I want the reader to invest in the story, why do I want them to read the story? And the truth is that this is just a pure escapism book. Like, this is the book that you sit down and read when you're having a really crappy day. So, um, I guess I'll put escapism from day to day life. And I want kind of a Crazy Rich Asians feel where I was invested because Rachel was normal while everyone around her seemed crazy. And I want to capture that same feel. So that's kind of why I hope the reader will invest in the story, is just the things are just kind of like so over dramatic and over the top that you just kind of have to keep reading. It's like when you know that a train is going to crash and you can't pull your eyes away from it. That's what I want. Train wreck. Okay. So what is my finish line? Blair, and then guess what? Redacted. I know that I am writing this story with, like, publicly doing this through YouTube, but that doesn't mean that I can't withhold some spoilers from you guys, okay? I can still hold a couple of things back up in my sleeve. So you guys don't get to read what that finish line is, and I will actually be recording it in my planner so that I still have it in case I end up needing to show this again. But yes, so you don't get to know what my finish line is. Okay, so what are some of the themes that tie the story together? So I was thinking about this, and money is definitely going to be something that kind of ties the whole story together. It's kind of the whole premise of that this girl works for this crazy family because she needs an internship, and she finds a really good paying internship, but has to put up with the crazy rich people in order to get it. And then the moon and blood as well are going to be themes. It will be announced what the symbolism means as I write. Wow, I cannot spell symbolism. It's fine. But definitely going to make sure that there's themes of money, moon, and blood. Especially because literally this is a story about vampires, werewolves, and money. Like, if I don't have these as themes, what am I even doing? I gotta make this as tropey, as like cringy as possible. Okay. So what are the stakes if the protagonist-antagonist doesn't reach their goals? So for Blair, leaving her internship early could result in damage to her resume, making it harder for her to start her career. And for Rel, don't know why I think of Ral as a villain name when he clearly wasn't a villain in Phantom of the Opera. Maybe I wish he was. But anyways, Ral stake is more that if he gets caught, he will lose his spot in the pack. I do want to create a higher stake for Blair. And I'm sure that there will be one that comes out as I start writing, but for now, this is kind of the stake. But I'm sure that as I write, she'll kind of have multiple goals, and so she'll have multiple stakes. But yeah. And now there's also this part of me that I want to write Ral's story. Anyways, okay. Moving on. So the next section of this document is the voice of the book, which I think is good to know because you're going to develop your own voice as an author, but this kind of gives you some focus of how you want to develop that voice and voice can differ even from like project to project. So this will give you an idea of how that might differ. So with this, Blair will be the one narrating the story in first person. So it's in first person POV. Blair is the one narrating it. And that's the plan for now. And I will put a note that I have thought about switching between Blair, Spencer, and oh gosh, what's her name? I don't remember my hero. Hold on. I'm gonna check my phone here. Because yeah, I don't... What was her name? I know that I gave her a virtue name because I was like, hero, he kind of has to have a Verity, which I know is a virtue name, but I can't remember what it means. Anyways, so I have thought about switching it between the three, but I'm not like 100% sure if or how I would do that. So I'll put that in there in case I find as I'm writing that I do need to switch it up to have those three kind of bouncing back and forth. And then what errors need to be included that will add a layer of authenticity to the story? So the first thing I want to add is enough puns to make Shakespeare weep. Out of joy or pain, I do not care. I just need him weeping from the amount of puns in this story. The other thing is that I want all the slang. The more made up slang, the better. And I need to use fetch enough to have readers create memes about Gretchen Wiener. Yeah, that is one of my goals with this book, which this sounds so awful. I think I have such a different mindset going into this book than any of my other books because this book is just supposed to be pure like laugh out loud escapism. So I have like such different goals going into this book that rather than writing like this really like tight-knit good story, I just want people to laugh and make memes, I guess. And like literally, if someone makes a meme about Gretchen Ritter being so proud of the werewolf's use of fetch, like my life will be complete. Okay. Okay. So on to this next part. So this is where I keep my scene list, where just as I write, I kind of write down a quick thing about kind of the chapter, what happened, make sure that I'm like still leading on. So for this, I have kind of my example. So here's my real chapter 1. And I'm actually going to take this example sample. I really wish I had a caps lock button on my Chromebook, but I do not. Oh well. So conflict of the first chapter, which yes, I have actually written. Blair is worried about not getting an internship, and it's almost the end of the semester. And then our hook to the next scene. And I really like this. So if we go up here, I have 4 options. I actually got this idea from a writer's conference I went to about how you need people for each scene to basically have a conflict and then a hook to the next scene. So your hooks are yes, yes but, nope, and no, and furthermore. Now, I'm a fan of the first scene being a yes or a yes but. I think false positives are really fun. And but you typically don't want the yes, you want like the yes but. Because like I said, I think false positives are kind of a fun way to start out a story. So yes, she gets an internship, but she will be working for the richest werewolf family in the town. Heaven help this poor vamp. So that is basically what is under, oh, I forgot when I capitalized things like that. Okay. So we're just going to put sample. So yeah. And then at the very bottom here, I just have a section where I can list questions that readers should have about what's happening in the plot. And then the answers with the chapter reference. That makes sure that if questions arise in the plot that I am answering them. So yeah, so that's the plotting part. Then I have my character section, which again, I'll kind of go over. And you'll notice that actually my character thing is very simple. And I did do that on purpose. I used to have like a super long, complex thing that I would fill out, but I find that this is actually way more efficient at creating like organic characters. So we have the character section where it'll just be a little blurb of each character with this. And I don't do this for like side characters. It's mostly like the main characters. I might just have like a list of side characters and some important info about them, but that's about it. And then the last section is world building. which there won't be a whole lot of world building for this story because it's going to be a very similar modern day thing, but I do make sure that I keep a list of kind of settings, usually broken down by country, landmark, or city, and locations within that landmark or city. I'll probably won't need the country part. I'll probably just need my city and the locations there. And there's not really a quote unquote magic system in this, so I won't need to go over the magic system. I will keep track of all of my sling and different hierarchies and stuff here, because that's important. And then the last thing I have is that I have this section for go back and develop, where if there's something that like I want to develop this character more, or like I realize that I need to add this detail, but I really don't want to go back and like write in that detail, then I can keep a list here so that when I start editing, I have a list of exactly what I need to update and change. So that is my story Bible to help keep things organized. I am curious as to how you guys like to organize information for your stories. So make sure to drop comments down in the comment section. Make sure to like the video, and we will see you another time, okay? Thanks for joining me today. Bye.